So Jeff, we've talked a little bit about the AEW free agencies, allegedly. We've talked about Sting's last match. We've talked about just theories in wrestling. And now I want to get deep in the weeds. Now I know once upon a time we were going to talk about Jerry Lawler, and we also had Against All Odds 2009 on deck. I'm going to put those on pause. We're going to kick the can a little bit because the entire wrestling world, my Twitter maybe most specifically, is talking about what we saw over the last week in WWE Creative. A little peek behind the curtain. You and I usually record on a Monday morning. So you and I have not spoken, certainly not on the podcast, about the promo that we saw happen between Seth Rollins and Cody Rhodes. When we last saw Cody at the Royal Rumble, he was pointing to Roman Reigns. He just won the Rumble for the second consecutive year, which meant he earned a right to challenge for the world title. Earlier that same week, it was announced about the TKO video game. Finish the story. Not only is Cody on the cover of the game, but the entire campaign is about finishing the story, to the point that they had the female competitors on the game. Bianca Belair and Rhea Ripley say that. They even had Roman Reigns reference that phrase. And they even had AI Austin and AI Hulk Hogan do the same. Finishing the story and 40 years of WrestleMania is one of their biggest licensees, 2K's video game promotion and campaign for this game. And after Cody pointed at Roman at the end of the Royal Rumble, the second one he won, and he yelled, "It's you. I'm coming for you, Roman. I want that title." We see him do a promo on Monday, and here comes Seth Rollins, another one of the MVPs, another guy who's had his creative allegedly change. The rumor and innuendo is that he was supposed to face CM Punk at WrestleMania. Those seeds were planted before Punk even worked in the company. But he tore his knee. But they thought maybe he can power through. We'll still get to the match. And then, damn it, if it wasn't for bad luck, he'd have no luck at all. CM Punk tore his tricep in the Royal Rumble. So it seems like creative changed, and in a big way, on Monday. Because here comes Seth to try to convince Cody, you don't want to wrestle for the part-timer belt. You don't want the Bruno belt. You want this belt. This is the workhorse belt. We're here. This is the belt that Dusty had. Now, not really, but it is a similar shape to the big gold belt. But I can't make sense of that, Jeff, because in the world of story, if I've lost 3 matches in a row to this guy, including when he had a torn pec and only had one good arm, and now I have one good leg, why would I want to defend my title against that guy? I know you're a wrestling junkie. I know you saw the promo. What did you think of the promo between Cody and Seth and how they tried to get this ball in motion?
You forgot, you referenced it, but as it relates to the promo, Conrad, and let me just say this for this segment. Well, yeah, I mean, I've said it over and over and over. Creative
is subjective.
Absolutely is subjective.
Yes.
Earlier, it's God, Conrad, and you're telling me, hey, we may or may not pivot from Against All Odds. We may or may not pivot from Jerry Lawler. Well, Connie, here we are, and I'm just thinking about. I just referenced the work shoot promos. So the shoot part of this storyline is that he legitimately, and I'm saying that in a wrestling sense, he's already gotten beat 3 times.
Yes.
And Seth was 100% when Cody was 60% with the torn pec, and
Yes.
Cody still won.
Yes.
Now Seth is, buddy, when you take it's one thing to have a bum chest, pec, tricep, bicep, whatever it may be. When you got a bum leg, to me, you go below 50%. It's just, and I'm talking about in a professional wrestling sense. It's the mobility. I told this to Seth's face not long after I'd come back. I said, your athletic ability is uncanny, unique, specific to professional wrestling. He's very good.
Yes, sir.
He really, there's a lot of guys that are athletic and a lot of guys that fit kind of the wrestling. Seth has a unique ability, and I've told him that. But when you have a bum knee and you're selling a guy on wrestling yourself, I can't wrap my head around it. And yes, it's subjective, but Connie, just this jumping off point, I kind of rewind and go, now, okay, based on my experience, and that is 37 years active in the business, and then we'll call it another 5 years just kind of hanging around, trying to figure out these wrestlers come by and get their paychecks, but I just saw them beat the shit out of each other the night before. This thing will work. But anyway, Conrad, just that jumping off point tells me that there is a lot of factors that are going on that I'm certainly not privy to, because just that point of Seth selling Cody is wrestling illogical.
Come beat me up. Come take my belt. I know you've beat me 3 times in a row, but do it one more time for the title I supposedly love and tore my own leg for. What?
So that's what I'm saying. There's got to be more going on here. And look, we can.
Well, let's call the spade a spade, Bubba. Oh, I guess I got in trouble. I guess that's a racist term, and I said that on Twitter, and I didn't know that. But I just thought that meant telling it like it is. So my apologies if that's what it is. Here's what I think.
No cap.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, Jeff Jarrett just said no cap. We will have a no cap shirt available for Jeff Jarrett soon enough, because he has worn a cowboy hat before, but this is maybe a blue hat, no cap. I'm convinced that this is all very strategic, and I'm not trying to wear a tinfoil hat. I'm just saying, Jeff, would you agree or disagree that over the last couple of weeks, WWE has had a PR problem on their hands? Is that fair to say?
Not only, I think since I've been alive, steroid trial, the Benoit situation, and there's, look, those are two that come to mind. This situation is magnified, and look, that's why I want to be careful. The Benoit situation was a loss of lives.
Yes.
Very, very tragic. But the founder, the world's biggest box office attraction, WrestleMania, all the different factors. Your question was, they've had a PR problem. I'm going to say the biggest public relations issue in the history of our industry.